Hello, my name is Winston. I'm here to present my work, SenseCollect, and to share my experience on how to collect on-body sensor-based human activity data. So human activity recognition we call it HAR, is a very important topic in Ubiquitous community. It has a wide variety of applications. However, in contrast to breakthrough evidence in other fields with large amounts of laboratory data, accessible on-body sensor-based HAR data is very limited. For example, computer vision, they have ImageNet dataset. It has 14 million images. For NLP, they have a dataset called 1 billion words benchmark. It literally has 1 billion words. But for the sensor-based like HAR data, the two largest accessible we have now, one is only 5 hours of data, another one is only 7.5 hours, and neither of them has more than 10 participants. So this very limited data set really affect the performance of HAR technology. Many researchers try to solve this problem by generating simulated IMU data from videos, or they do data augmentation, bounce transfer learning. In this paper, instead of simulating the problem around model development, we take a more grounded approach. We try to understand what is the difficulties of this HAR data collection and what makes a good HAR data set, and how can we collect large amounts of data set efficiently through a set of structured guidelines. In the study procedure, we have 3 steps. First, we have a preliminary study, try to understand the current practice of data collection. And second step, I design the data set. And in the third step, and we try to collect this data set and deliver our findings and theory about data collection. So in the primary study, we survey and interview many researchers from different applications in HAR area. And we find out it is very difficult to collect this kind of HAR data. I still remember one PhD student, he told me he's 4th year student, but he spent 2 years doing nothing, just collecting data. And most of the time, the data he collects is useless because the quality is very poor, so he has to recollect data again and again. So data collection is very boring, time-consuming, error-prone, and a lot of difficulties. So, and then I designed the data set, and the details of when I designed this data set, just go to my paper. And basically, this is a finger movement data set, try to recognize your finger writing with a smartwatch. And I make an app on the smartwatch to collect this IMU data for this finger movement vibration. And I make an app on the laptop, so it helps give the instruction to the participants to know what kind of letters or numbers they need to write, and also provide the visual feedback about the real-time data output. In the deployment study, usually we know the researchers, they try to collect data in the way they will collect data directly by themselves. So they recruit the participants, and then they monitor, supervise, advise these participants to collect data very carefully to secure the data quality. And also they ask their ask their labmates or ask their friends to collect data, and also they will monitor them to secure the quality. However, these most common ways turn out the result is very terrible based on our experiments, and we only collect a few data, and most of them, the quality is very poor. So we think about, can we just ask many investigators, we recruit many investigators, we give them the devices and ask the investigator to recruit other participants to collect data at the same time. So in this way, we can collect so many data from the investigators. However, you may say this is impossible. It is so difficult for us, our researchers ourselves, to collect data already. How come we can ask investigators to collect good quality data? So as you can see here, so the data we want to collect is on the left side, but actually the data we collect, we have is usually in the right side. It has many errors in the data, so we cannot label it correctly. And then I designed a control variable experiments to understand why it is impossible and why it is difficult to recruit the investigators to collect data, or why it is difficult for participants to collect data. due to the time limitation, I will just talk about the findings and theories here. So it turns out monitoring is not necessary. To secure the data quality, we only need to ask the participant, we only tell the participant that if the data quality is too poor, we don't pay you. So in this way, the participant, they will try their best to give you the good quality data. This is very similar to the factory. So when we recruit many people to monitor the workers to make more products, to make good quality products, but it usually doesn't work well. So they try to pay the workers by counting the numbers of the products they have, they make, or the quality of the products they make. So similarly, we pay the participants by the amounts of the data we collect and the quality of the data they collect. And there are also some other findings to find out we can help the participants to collect more good quality data and more efficiently. One is the sensing feedback is very important. So the visual feedback we design on the laptop and the smart glasses, it provides the data, the sensor data feedback. So without this, the participants, they don't know they're doing well or they're not doing well. And this really affects their data quality. And another challenge is it is very boring for the participants to collect data, this tedious data collection, hours and hours. So we play some music and it is helpful to make them feel better. And also we're thinking maybe we can design games to help them to do this human activity, and that this is not boring, so they can collect data hours and hours and focus on the task, this boring task. And another thing is be careful if they collect data for hours and hours without any break, without any rest. This will also affect the data. So through these findings, we make these instructions, and we collect this finger writing data of 192 hours from 32 participants just in 1 week. So this is much larger than the accessible HAR data we have nowadays. And we also evaluate the accuracy, the quality of this data set offline and as well as in real world. And to test the generalizability, based on these guidelines, we collect another HAR data set, and in one week, we collect 113 participants' data. So we do wish in the future, based on these guidelines, it can help the researchers to collect data easily, to collect more data, and to collect more good data. And this can advance the HAR technology. Thank you.